Okay. Second one the pen number. Stream second one the pen number. First one number. What's it?
Are you live?
Remember. First one, okay. Finim. Mr. View. Into Facebook, a kiss and an in there, no. Maybe a Facebook, no. Use a. Okay, Mammy had it. Okay. Message them. My
sound in there.
One. Ababa tuning number. That's it. That's it.
I hope so we are not live. Because I know we're not that watch white background. No. Uncle. Okay. Then let's go. It's a beautiful morning and we say good morning to you, a lovely one to you, and thank you so much for joining us on Stream TV today, 7th of August 2020, and it's a Friday. We're wrapping up your working week for you. My name is Bismarck Brown and thanks for the pleasure of your company this morning. We're going to take a tour together to find out what's making headline news this beautiful morning on the various front pages, and we call this program The Front Page. You are invited to bring your products and your business here, and we'll certainly reach your prospective market for you. We'll kick off with the Daily Guide newspaper, and it comes with a photograph of His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, as well as former President John Dramani Mahama. Banner headline: Mahama Goofs gives Nana 8 years. And I'm sure you've seen this video on social media already, where after his registration, the former President John Mahama granted an interview to the media where he was talking about the challenges the country has been going through in the period within Nana Addo's governance. And he kept on referring to 8 years, 8 years, 8 years, and he talked about 8 years of corruption, 8 years of hardship, 8 years of nepotism and all of that. But interestingly, Nana Addo has only spent 4 years in office, and that's why the paper caption said Mahama Groups. It's on the front page here of Daily Guide this morning. Also on the front page of Daily Guide, Seku fights Professor Ahwoi over Founders Day, and Seku Nkrumah is a son of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president, who has some ideological disagreements with the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament over Founders Day. And this, I know, will certainly be a very long debate which will never go away. It's on the front page of Daily Guide. Announced judge gets pension benefit. I met empty coffers, Akufo-Addo tells chiefs, and the story indicates how His Excellency the President intimated to chiefs on his store the kind of government he met and the finances of the government at the time he came to office. And it's captured. President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo says he inherited almost an empty state coffers from the erstwhile NDC administration. And according to him, the highly touted massive infrastructure development claimed by the NDC administration ahead of the 2016 general election was just propaganda, because upon assumption of office, what the Akufo-Addo administration saw on the ground did not reflect the massive projects the NDC claimed it left behind. And let me just quote His Excellency the President. We've gone very far. I think that anybody who is sincere can look across the country. Firstly, I think there are two things about these roads. All of us came together and then we unleashed a massive program of roads rehabilitation across the country. People can see that indeed the roads are being tackled, and it's on the front page here of Daily Guide. Government redirects public spending, that's attributed to the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Let's move on to the Chronicle of Friday, and the Chronicle this morning says delinquent WASSCE student pounds on reporter for attempting to probe alleged exams malpractice. And it comes to the photograph of Mr. Damali Emmanuel, who is a reporter for the daily graphic newspaper in the Eastern region. He's based in Koforidua, and there was a drama at Bright Senior High School and Achim Kukrentumi based private senior high school in the Ebuakwa North municipality of the Eastern region, when final year students nearly lynched the graphic reporter who went there. But for his ability to run fast from the scene and jump onto a moving commercial vehicle to escape from the angry students, some of who were wielding knives, cutlasses, sticks, and stones, a different story would have been told yesterday. And the story comes with this photograph with blood oozing on his head, and it's on the front page of the Chronicle today. Also on the front page of the Chronicle, NDC in disarray over Ahwoi's book. Working with Rawlings is stirring controversy within the NDC. Also on the front page of the Chronicle, Haruna Idrisu is the minority leader in Parliament. Less than 10 MPs show interest in lawmaking, and I'm wondering why they are in Parliament. The minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, has raised concerns over the lack of interest in the rudiments of lawmaking by majority of Ghana's legislators. Story continues that according to the Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, not more than 10 legislators contribute to lawmaking daily. He said if he was asked to make an assessment as Haruna Idrisu, the minority leader, on parliamentarians who show interest in legislative drafting, quote, I cannot count more than 6 to 10 members of Parliament, particularly even the young ones that you call the newcomers. I probably can narrow to even 5 newcomers who are interested in the rudiments of lawmaking daily, unquote. And the minority leader made these observations at a working dialogue with the core leadership of Parliament on the need to nurture career legislators. So this was actually a conversation amongst members of Parliament where the Honourable Minority Leader observed that less than 10 MPs show interest in lawmaking. So question is, why are they rooting to go to Parliament this year? If they are not interested in making laws, why are they in Parliament in the first place? Well, that's on the front page of the Chronicle today. On the front page of the Inquisitor, let's turn attention to it. Military accused in land guard activities. And it comes to the photograph of Lieutenant General Obi Akwa, who is the Chief of Defense Staff, as well as the Minister of the... And the story talks about some military personnel who have been sighted in the Shai enclave undertaking land guard activities. And the story talks about some chiefs raising concerns and also even writing a formal petition to the military high command for this to stop. The Inquisitor also says NAPO COVID-19 not for rich men alone, says registration of students in schools was best. On the front page of the Inquisitor as well, initiates criminal proceedings against Ahinkra Tema residents, Tema resident petitions IGP, and a resident of Tema has petitioned the Inspector General of Police to commence criminal proceedings against actions of the former Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry and Member of Parliament for Tema West Constituency, Kingsley Carlos Ahinkra. And Mr. Ahinkra was widely criticized for interacting with some of his constituents, knowing very well he had tested positive for COVID-19. And the petitioner is Enoch Ejapong, who is asking that the Public Health Act 2012 Act 851 be implemented, or as it were be enforced to ensure punishment for the Honourable Member of Parliament for Tema West Constituency. On the front page of the Inquisitor, and the Inquisitor says Zoom Lion to build second Itakradis first wastewater treatment plant. That's also at the top right corner of the paper. Let's move on to the Informer. And the Friday edition of the Informer, this morning says, working with Rawlings, Kwamena Ahwoi scores own goal, damages Mahama campaign. And I'm sure you know about the impact of this book so far on the politics of Ghana, and in particular the politics of the NDC. And questions are being raised about the timing of this book. The Informer says, aftermath of Professor Kwamena Ahwoi's ill-timed book, Baby Cabal blame media for their woes after Paymaster blows cover. The Informer says, I am for just and equal society. That's attributed to the former president, John Mahama. Communications Minister missing as Sam George chases Esla Owusu with Kenny GVG questions. And he filed a question to be answered by the minister. But according to reports, the minister did not show up to take the questions. Well, we'll move on to the Daily Graphic of Friday. And the Daily Graphic this morning comes with a photograph of the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Kwesi Opoku-Amankwa. Banner headline, outcry over WASE misconduct. GES denounces students' offensive act, corporates to be debordinized. But the guys are leaving school. They are completing school. How do you debordinize them? Well, but the extremely reprehensible and it is extremely reprehensible and appalling, according to the Ghana Education Service, that students would assaulting the president and also committing to violence in their schools, destroying property, and even attacking invigilators as well as reporters. And the Ghana Education Service has indeed condemned this act and has taken it up in terms of dealing with them. It's not just the Ghana Education Service talking about this matter. The National Commission for Civic Education, NCCE, has also condemned the behavior of some of these students, and it's captured by the Daily Graphic of today. Also on the front page of the Daily Graphic, Kennedy, Japan mobilizes $428,000 to evacuate Ghanaians. And if you recall, we actually also did a story on Stream TV where some stranded young Ghanaians in Lebanon were making an appeal through a Ghanaian as well based there to the government and also the Honourable Member of Parliament for Ascent Central to assist in their evacuation to Ghana because they are stranded. We're told by the Daily Graphic that the Honourable has personally been able to raise $200,000 and has been able to mobilize from other sources through an appeal, public appeal, I must say. So they've been able to raise a total of 428,000. The check was presented to the Foreign Affairs Minister yesterday. Daily Graphic says, "Don't make Parliament preserve of elite wealthy." And it's here. The leadership of Parliament has called for major reforms in the processes and procedures political parties use to determine and select their leaders, particularly those who become members of Parliament. It said a critical view of the structures and the constitutional provisions of parties that required parliamentary primaries to be conducted every 4 years was not the best. Hence, parties must find other ways of choosing or affirming their MPs. Such reforms, the Member of Parliament noted that indeed will go a long way to strengthen Parliament. And it comes to the photograph of First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei Wusu, and that is on the front page of Daily Graphic. The Daily Statesman is our next paper. Banner headline: Nana endorses wicked plot against JJ. NDC running mate says Ahwoi was honest in controversial book. And this book, you know by now, is indeed stirring a lot of controversy and ruffling feathers. And we're told by the Daily Statesman that the foreword of that book was actually written by the running mate of the NDC, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Agyeman. And according to the Daily Statesman as well, she edited the book and approved its content as publishable, and also wrote the foreword. And it's on the front page of the Daily Statesman. And also here, President expresses confidence in oil and gas graduates, on the front page of the Daily Statesman. The Ghanaian Times is our next paper, and the Ghanaian Times talks about students who have been taken to violence and also openly insulting political leadership. Demo over ongoing 2020 WASE, GES, others slam rioters. Students demand punishment for those who vandalized, destroyed school property. And it's on the front page of the paper. Rowdy WAEC official, invigilators and journalists. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times as well, EC ends nationwide voter registration exercise, embarks on 2-day mop-up Saturday, and it comes to the photograph of Mrs. Jean Mensah. So if you have still not registered to vote in the 2020 elections, you have and Sunday as well to take advantage of and do it. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, explosion at Beirut airport, Lebanese embassy opens book of condolence in Accra Monday. So Monday, the Lebanese embassy will be opening a book of condolence following the explosion in the capital of Lebanon, Beirut, very close to the country's port. And several people have died as a result, and several also injured. And it's on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. The Daily Dispatch is our very next paper. 2020 voters register and ethnic groups part 3, focus on former voter and northern regions. On the front page of the Daily Dispatch as well, EC extends registration at district offices to Sunday, and it's captured by the paper. The Insight is our last paper for domestic news headlines. Will soon hit straight inside Africa. The Insight says GWCL, Ghana Water Company Limited, locks pipes after government announces water for free. And it comes to the photograph of the sector minister, Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Cecilia Benadapa. And the paper observes that few days after the government announced free water for Ghanaians in a bid to help fight the coronavirus disease, water shortage has hit some parts of the country. It is not exactly clear what the problem is, but for people who thought of enjoying the free water supply as announced by the minister in a mid-year budget review, their hopes appear to have been dashed in the meantime. The Ghana Water Company Limited issued a statement within the week indicating areas that were going to be affected. Well, the Ghana Statistical Survey says 770,000 Ghana Statistical Service, I should say, has conducted a survey, and 770,000 workers. guess what? Due to coronavirus. The insight also says government seeks over $166 million loan to purchase armored cars. Whoa, that's on the front page here of the insight. Now let's move straight inside Africa and find out some of the stories making headline news on our continent. And also, if you go to La Côte d'Ivoire, there is tension. Police and military men have hit the streets to control crowds. Ivory Coast police fired tear gas at supporters of former president, and police fired tear gas to disperse a protest in the commercial capital Abidjan on Thursday against the exclusion of former President Laurent Gbagbo and others from the voter rolls for October's presidential election. And the Ivory Coast, or La Côte d'Ivoire, is going into the elections in October.